What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how to get your first photo or video client. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Just really quick before I do get into those 5 points, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Mason. I make videos on this channel all about editing, photography tips and tricks, video tips and tricks, and entrepreneurial advice to help you get business. If that does sound like the sort of thing that you're into, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. There's new videos every single week covering one of those topics. And I know I said we were going to get into it. This time we're actually going to get into it. So let's get into it. Tip number 1 is to build a good website. I know it sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people rely solely on social media to get their work out there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not slamming social media. Having social media is absolutely an integral part of marketing yourself and your business. But having a website to do the heavy lifting for you just takes some of the legwork out of it. If somebody comes to you and says, do you have any examples of your work? Rather than having to send them a long-winded email with loads of attachments for them to filter through, you can just drop them the link to your website. It's super clean, super easy. They can learn more about you, they can see some of your work, and learn a bit more about what you're about. Not to mention that owning a website will mean you have your own domain to push your emails through, because having your own domain on your email address is infinitely better than having an @Gmail. It's one of those things that flags up an amateur from a mile away. Tip number 2 is to create spec work. Spec work is short for speculative work. Normally, this would be work that you create specifically for a client ahead of any financial transaction. What you can do is take the term spec work and extend that to mean any work that you do at your own cost, in your own time, to help build up a portfolio. When you first start out, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of work to show a prospective client. So going out of your way to create some spec work so that you do have something to show them when those prospects start to come along is really, really valuable. Now, this might cost you a little bit of money. For example, you might go and hire a car for a weekend and go on a trip with your partner. But during that trip, you shoot the car in the location and you then have something to show to maybe a prospective dealership or even a car manufacturer. And be sure to share that spec work online. If you do, as in the previous example, go and hire a car and shoot it on a weekend trip, and it's a Mercedes-Benz, post it on Twitter, post it on LinkedIn, post it in all the places, tag Mercedes-Benz, and try and get somebody at those companies to see it. If you do good work and it ends up in front of the right person, you never know what will happen. Now, as nice as it would be to get your work in front of somebody from Mercedes-Benz, and it's not to say it won't happen, the likelihood is that when you start out, your clients are going to be friends and family. And that brings me on to point number 3. Get referrals from family and friends. As I mentioned a moment ago, the likelihood is that your first few clients are gonna be friends and family. For example, you might have a friend who works with a local charity, or they might run local events, and they might ask you to shoot that event. And then by shooting that event, they might refer you to a friend who's getting married. You might get a wedding to shoot. There might be somebody at that wedding who knows somebody at a local business, then you get a local business to shoot. Referrals from family and friends are invaluable when you are getting started. They are the quickest way to build connections with new prospective clients. Number 4 is get good at getting rejected. Now, what I mean by this is you are going to have to contact a lot of people in order to make the connections that you need to get that first client. If it takes talking to 100 people a week for the first 6 weeks, then that's what you have to do. And you're going to get rejected a lot. But it's down to you to deal with that rejection, pick yourself up, contact that next 100 people. If it takes emails, phone calls, stopping by in person to drop off a business card, do all those things, keep pushing through the rejection until you get that one person who says yes. It's down to you to sell your services. Make great work and make people see it. Number 5 is a big one, and it is a massively divisive argument online, and that is working for free. Personally, I am a massive proponent of working for free. When you first start out, you're not gonna have a huge back catalogue of work or a massive portfolio to show to a company or an individual. And to expect that company or individual to then pay for a service that they don't even know if you can do is frankly a little naive. You might be an amazing photographer or an amazing filmmaker, but until you show that to your client, they have no reason and no basis to believe that. And with no basis to believe that, they're not gonna wanna pay you. Or at least they're not gonna wanna pay you as much as you want to be paid. So when you're first starting out, take the opportunities that you get offered. Do the absolute best work that you can, build up a portfolio, use those opportunities, and then the next time somebody comes along and says, we want you to do this, say, okay, this is what I'm capable of, this is my price, let's negotiate. Now, as a caveat to that last point, make sure you know your value. If you're not a total beginner and you do have a portfolio of work and people are trying to pressure you into working for free, they're probably not the right client for you, and I recommend that you stand your ground. All right guys, those are my 5 tips on how to get your first client. If you did like the video, I know today's was a little bit different from the stuff I've been doing recently, give it a big old thumbs up, let me know you liked it. Subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and be sure to ring the bell so you get notified when I upload new videos every single week. Leave me some comments, let me know if there's any tips that you think are valuable, because obviously if people are reading the comments, it's always good to have more perspectives. As always guys, take it easy, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!